Well, let's go with so I don't think we've went a little deeper into the topic about the kid part when you need a daughter or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So what is something, of course you need a daughter to be possibly better to them, but have they also dealing with them made you also just be helps you be just a better person in general with dealing with women and dating and
100%.
all of that?
A
I
million
guess
percent.
also thinking about how
It
so
changed even
speak to
how I
that.
choose women.
Mm,
The woman I choose has to be a good example for my daughters,
mm,
flat out. You are going to be their mother figure.
mm.
So it literally wipes out a lot of women from the rip. Like, it's the difference between the women I can fuck, the women I can fuck with, and the women I can fucking marry.
Mm,
And the women I want to fucking marry has to be a great example. Like,
mm,
the women I just can fuck, you've never seen my kids anyway. The women I
mm,
fuck with, they might know you exist, you might know they exist, but
mm,
it's still a certain boundary. You ain't about to be kicking it with them.
mm,
But if I plan on fucking marrying you, oh yeah, like you need to know them, they need to know you, they need to respect you, it needs to be a certain level of communication or understanding. But it ain't got to be besties, but it's going to be that hierarchy put in place where it's like this is your mom figure when
mm,
on my end. So with that being the case, having daughter, when you have sons, I don't think you're as conscious of that.
mm,
It ain't to say that you shouldn't be, but I just don't think you act because you're going to teach your son to grow up, hunt, forward, fuck, do all the shit that men do. You know what I
mm,
mean? And you're not going to really think about, the example of the woman that you now. Granted, you would want him to have a woman that carry the way your wife carry if she carries up the way, so he don't deal with any type of chick. But
mm,
at the same time, when you have daughters, it's like I don't want my daughters looking up to a chick that do certain shit,
mm,
and I'm not bringing you around them. So yeah, for sure, changed the way I look at women because it also made me realize that every woman needed a father.
mm,
So many women could have avoided so many of the unforeseen and unforeseen and avoidable instances in their lives where they needed protection, where they got preyed on. You know what I mean? When they did some bullshit, when they didn't
mm,
have foresight, when they made dumbass decisions out of their emotions because they didn't have guidance and direction, or when they was only getting led by one energy and the other energy was just not present at all, so they don't even know how to deal with the other energy to the point where they look at it in a weird way and start to attack brotherhood.
mm.
It's like, no, it made me realize that like a lot of men wouldn't even do certain shit if a woman simply had a dad that was present and that was there. So yeah, it made me look at all that because I started to have grace to realize like when we say, oh yeah, you could tell she didn't have a dad, I don't say it as a slight. I say it as it's unfortunate. It's
Mhm,
like, damn, because I say it with boys, like, damn, like you can see young boy ain't had no father
mhm,
figure. Damn, you could tell. So it'd be more so like that, like, damn, man, if she would have had a dad, she would kind of look at herself a little different. Like I understand that what's between their legs is their greatest prize because this is what produces life, right?
mhm,
It's not your greatest prize because you could sell it for $1,000, $50, $40, or whatever. It's not. That's
mhm,
not why it's your greatest prize. Your greatest prize because you can procreate with it, and that's why it's there. It's like it's
mhm,
there to be procreated, not run it out. You know what
mhm,
I mean? And I think that having a father, like there's certain things my daughter would be afraid to do just because I'm here. Like literally, like I wasn't worried about, and not to say that all girls that because it also comes down to the type of dad I am too.
mhm.
Just because you have a dad there, that's be another thing in the conversation. Oh yeah, woman who was raised with her dad speaking, and then you say some shit that don't seem
Nah.
like you was raised with your dad. It's like,
Mhm,
what are we talking about? Like, no,
mhm,
what type is your dad a good man? Is he a
mhm,
good person? Is he a leader? And it made me realize, it gave you that sense of responsibility of feeling like, you know what? And I don't know, maybe you can relate to like, it's like my decisions first of all, it's not all about me. So that means I can't make decisions that I would have been able to make selfishly because again, it's my job to protect them. It's no other man's on earth but till they get married.
mhm.
Job to protect my daughters. They ain't to say that they ain't got uncles and cousins and people that might love them
It's
enough
not
to,
their job
but
though,
it's
yeah.
not their job.
Mhm,
So I can't say that I'm gonna show up for my company and do whatever I got to do to be present. But then when it comes to my daughters, I'm sitting here fleeting. No, like I'm the only person. That's why I'm so headstrong about talking to their moms about the schools they in, the people they're around, the like all just coaching them and teaching them because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, my number get called. They don't call y'all for the things that they gonna call and pertain to safety or even if it's like, so yeah, that it made me realize that I gotta get myself in a predicament to be able to handle if something gotta get paid for, gotta stay in shape, gotta stay educated and at the same time I gotta stay with it made me want the family. I want a woman that can be, and I
a
always when
partner
I'm in a
in that
relationship, I always have that.
infrastructure,
Like
yeah.
one thing I say about all of my girls, they always good role models for my
Mhm,
kids. I realized none of my girlfriends was not a good role model to my kids. I realized one of them was a good role model to my kids, and like it just all I know how to pick them. Like I know how to pick them.
yeah. So to the original point about having a daughter, yeah, like I agree. I definitely, I'm not gonna say I needed a daughter per se, but I understood the value that it brought to my life and my psyche, whatever. Because it did, if I had a son, it definitely would be.
You needed a daughter. This lack of empathic motherfucker needed a daughter.
Yeah, my son. It